7 not-so-secret essentials leaders use to create high-performing teams. Beyond the fact of being extremely successful, many managers and leaders make a difference by creating exceptionally happy teams and a shared culture. They create outstanding performance and their teams excel even when encountering obstacles that can question their survival. Can certain elements and successfulness be intimately related in teams? I believe so. Having worked with many companies across continents, I noticed that the most successful and most performing and most happy teams share common traits. Here are 7 not-so-secret elements that leaders in many of these high-performing companies. Number 1, they set the way forward. Its leaders and managers have a clear vision and strategy that sets the way forward. They have a strong and clear vision that defines and drives the activities of the entire organization and the decision-making around their everyday work. And this goes beyond a well-crafted business plan sitting on a drawer. Their vision and the strategy are present in people's minds and many times highlighted in the office walls. And they are pushed forward and they're emphasized by leaders, managers, staff members who remind the whole teams what they are working for and why. In successful teams, the people are part of the strategy for success and they know their role and how to get there. And at the same time, there's something tremendously inspiring about envisaging the future ahead and knowing you are part of it. It increases your sense of belonging to the team and to the company that you are working with. And high-performing managers and leaders know how important this is to the sustainability of the business. Number 2, they communicate effectively. Managers and leaders that perform high both on productivity and on team satisfaction, they consciously spend a great deal of time communicating. They communicate clearly and they communicate often with their teams and individually with team members so that they create a shared vision and meaning and together build common ground. What do high-performing managers and leaders have in common regarding their communication? Independently of personal preferences and communication channels, in person, remote, individual or group communication, how they decide to act, their communication is very similar. Their communication is characterized by openness and transparency. Problems are discussed, solutions are sought together, and important information is shared across the organization. There is little or no hidden hand, so that successful practices are replicated and errors avoided. What is important here is that the flaws and failures of systems, of projects, of internal decisions taken are spotlighted so that they can be corrected and so that other teams don't fall into them. Number 3, they inspire. The most effective leaders and managers create a solid culture which incorporates common values and practices into their work and have the ability to inspire alignment within their teams and across the organization. Their way of doing things creates an organizational culture which resonates with key values such as engagement, participation, service, etc., which more and more people identify with. It fits with their own beliefs and values. And by acting according to their values, they inspire and they show the example to others in the team. Above all, culture is a carrier of meaning. It means people feel part of a story and they contribute to it. And again, it responds to a very human need of belonging. Number 4, they care. They care about the company, about its aims, its sustainability, its issues, and how they can contribute to solve them. They care about their team members. They spend time getting to know them individually and supporting them in their work. And they care about them not only as professionals, but as actually human beings, with a family, with a need for rest, with a need for security, with a need for development, but also with individual preferences and working styles. These leaders influence the organization with a strong set of views on the role of people. They set the path for the integration of specific policies and ideas such as work-life balance, leaves, pensions, health and well-being into their business culture. They understand their workforce needs. They deeply care for workers' welfare, and they implement a full series of measures to make them feel supported at whatever stage of their lives. Number 5, they grow people. One of the crucial elements that unites leaders in many of these high-performing companies is that they embrace and support the growth, the development and the success of their people and teams. They understand that their survival in a world of continuous change is only possible through a culture of continuous improvement and learning. They invest in people through diverse learning and development opportunities as a direct investment in growth and development of the organization. As a result, their teams feel more engaged, motivated, and up for the challenge. Important to say as well is that lack of investment in their professional development is one of the main reasons why people leave companies. In teams and companies that outclass the average competition, and in companies most people want to work with, there is a conscious choice to invest in training and professional development. Truth is, they know there is a correlation with staff retention and engagement. Number 6, they celebrate success. Successful, high-performing leaders allocate time to celebrate success together, making people in their teams part of the collective achievements. Either informally in-house through a pizza party or in a more organized way with external suppliers, these managers and leaders recognize they owe their success to people. They recognize and reward success, even the smallest ones, because these are a way to notice they are progressing. One company I worked with had a bell that employees would ring whenever they got a project offer approved. It was a tiny thing, but it gave huge visibility to the individual and team who got the offer, and was a great recognition when they had worked for weeks to get it. Number 7, they are accountable. Being accountable not only means being responsible for something, but also ultimately being able to answer for your actions. This is one of the main elements that distinguishes between high-performing and successful leaders and low-performing leaders. In case of a screw-up, low-performing leaders look for who is to blame, in most cases down the line, while successful team builders take ownership for a fault and seek to understand where they failed and what could they have done better. This doesn't mean taking the fault, it means understanding what happened and that they too had a role in it. What is essential here is that top leaders and managers focus on continuous improvement, on continuous cycles of adaptation. And for this, they invest in themselves, in their own development. They develop their own awareness, and they invest to acquire the tools that allow them to remain at the top. So, what is important to highlight as a conclusion? Creating a successful, happy, and engaged team starts with a state of mind. If you're willing to adopt such an approach with your team, you can surely achieve it. This is how some managers and leaders are choosing to create happy and successful teams. There are many more habits and actions managers and leaders do to lead to vibrant, energized people contributing at the highest levels in thriving workplaces. So stay tuned for more. Share your examples or your stories of how you are creating an awesome team and workplace culture. Leave us a comment below and let me know. Many incredible people can find your story a source of insight and inspiration, and your story may be what someone else needs.